Like I was saying earlier, to me, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite times of year. And the history of Thanksgiving actually goes back thousands and thousands of years. It actually goes back into the time of the Native Americans, who had a long-standing tradition of giving thanks, often tied to the cycles of nature, actually. And these times, these celebrations actually honored all the different things that the earth had given it, including different harvests. They also hunted, so they were thankful for the take that they took from the hunting, and also the seasonal changes. So it kind of all came together in one, but they had been celebrating it for thousands a year. And they celebrated these ceremonies all throughout the course of the year, not just one time. And so these events included dancing, they included storytelling, they included fire, they included the elements, they included a lot of things. Because Native Americans really were connected to the earth. That was super important to them because they realized everything that the earth had given them sustained them. And so that was why they celebrated it and really made the natural world a huge part of the celebrations. And again, it wasn't just confined to a single day, but they really wanted to celebrate it because of the interconnectedness of all of life. And so it was hugely, hugely important. And the Wampanoag people, actually, whose name means people of the first light. How cool is that? People of the first light. They lived, actually, in southeastern Massachusetts. And they were part of the Algonquin-speaking tribes. And they lived in a network of villages, is how they lived. And they were skilled in all kinds of things, as you can imagine, because they had to live on their own. Farming, hunting, fishing, gathering, all that kind of stuff. And back in 1620, they actually encountered the first European travelers, the Pilgrims. And they formed an alliance with the Pilgrims, and they showed them how to survive. They taught them how to hunt, how to fish, how to do everything that they needed to do in order to live. And then finally in 1621, which from a historical standpoint is when they had the actual dinner that everybody talks about. It was at that point in time that they shared in this harvest celebration in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And then what happened was way back, George Washington actually declared the National Day of Thanks in 1789, but it was actually President Lincoln who back in 1863, during the Civil War, actually proclaimed Thanksgiving as a national holiday to better foster unity. That's why he did it, okay? And he designated it to be the last Thursday of November for the occasion, but then finally in 1941, Congress actually passed it and made it official. So there you go. There's the entire history of the Thanksgiving tradition, started off by the Native Americans, which I think is really beautiful to tap into their traditions and to honor their traditions. They taught and can teach us so much about life. And so, as we process and we go through Thanksgiving, it's always something in the back of my mind. I'm going like, okay, but I think there's something else. I think there's something deeper there, right? And so when you really start looking at this idea of Thanksgiving, it goes back into their traditions, but then it starts gaining a little steam by some pretty famous people. For example, Cicero said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of all virtues, but is the parent of all others." Whoa. And then, this little guy named Jesus, what did he say? Give thanks in all circumstance. Give thanks in all circumstance. So we can see from the Indians to Cicero to Jesus and others, this whole idea of, man, there's something going on here with Thanksgiving. Like what is it about Thanksgiving that makes it so powerful? And even you can bring it into modern times, right? So Dr. Wayne Dyer said the universe provides abundantly when you're in a state of gratefulness. So it provides abundantly when you're in a state of gratefulness. Tony Robbins says when you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. He actually goes on to say that when you're in gratitude, you are not able to be in fear. You cannot physiologically do it when you're in gratitude. So we're hearing some pretty amazing people talking about this idea. And when you really start to do a deeper dive, you really start to process the idea of Thanksgiving. In other words, it's not, oh, I guess I got to do Thanksgiving again. It's not like that. It actually is really beautiful and quite profound. And it boils down to a really powerful spiritual law. And that is, when you're grateful for what you do have increases. Huh? Yes. When you're grateful for what you do have increases. And certainly, Fillmore's talked about this all the time. And this is the story, and this is the ultimate story. Where did we see it better than anybody? Is when Jesus fed the 5,000. Now, rewind and let's go to the setup. What's the setup? They're hanging out. Jesus says, hey, I'm going to give a talk. And they're hanging out and go, cool, let's do this talk thing. And guess what? They're hanging out and go, yeah, there might be a few people that show up. 5,000 people later. And so they're hanging out that night, and the disciples come to him, and they're like, uh-oh, we got a problem. And Jesus said, what's going on? And they said, well, we got these 5,000 people. By the way, we're in the middle of nowhere, and we're going to send them home because there's no food here. And Jesus goes, what? Don't do that. And they go, well, what do you want us to do? He said, go get me, what do you have? What do you have? I don't know, got a couple fish and a couple loaves of bread. Oh, yeah, bring it to me. And then what does Jesus do? He puts in his hands, and what does he do? He holds it up and he does what? What does he do? Thank you. Thank you. He says, thank you. And you're sitting there going, So let me get this right. The Native Americans, Cicero, Jesus, Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins, everybody's talking about this. And to me, when I really start studying it, it's kind of like this idea of like gratitude equals abundance. It equals abundance. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. Then you could really say that what Jesus was really talking about, and here's the secret with the whole entire story. What Jesus did, rewind, all right, imagine, what are the apostles saying, right? They're sitting there going like, well, we got these 5,000 people, but we don't have any food, and we can't feed them, so we got to tell them to go away, right? Question for you, what state of consciousness were the apostles in when they said that? Would you think they were in a lack state of mind, or do you think they were in an abundant state of mind? Which one? Yes. And so I got this picture. I always get these funny pictures of Jesus hanging out, and they're sitting there going, wah, 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 we can't feed them. And Jesus is going, dear God, will they ever get it? Will they ever get it? And so what does Jesus do? All right, go get me. I'll show you so you get it. Because what Jesus realized is that when you open yourself up in a state of gratitude, you receive. It opens you up to receive, or it opens doors that have previously been closed. Okay, go back. The disciples are looking around. They can't figure it out. They're not getting anything. And what do? I guess I can't do anything. Let me ask you a question. How many times in your life do you look at something and go, I can't do that. I can't afford to pay for that. I can't do this. I can't that. I don't care what it is. How often do you tell yourself, I can't do that, even though you really, really, really want it? Anybody in here ever do that? Everybody has. You may be doing it right now with something that you really, really, really want. Maybe. And so what happens is when you do that, you shut off any ability for the divine to be able to help you. You shut it off. That's what happens. So in other words, you stay in lack consciousness because you've just told the entire universe, sorry, you can't help me. That's what we're doing. And by the way, I'm guilty as charged. I'm not innocent in this, right? But this is a lesson that Jesus was trying to teach them. There's no food. They're walking around, and then it's like Jesus goes, hold on, give me the fish. Give me the bread, and watch. This is how you do it. Thank you, God, for what I do have. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you for what I do have. I get it. There's 5,000 people out there, and I've only got this much. But you know what? You don't shut it down and you don't say, I can't do this. What do? You give thanks for what you do have, and then that opens up the possibility for something more to come into your life. That's what you do. That's what Jesus did. Because what Jesus knew is gratitude changes your state from a state of lack to a state of abundance. That's the trick. That's the metaphysical trick of staying in gratitude. What happens is you switch your state from lack and you go over into abundance just by being grateful for what you have. And when you do that, doors are open that were closed before then. That's the trick. That's what makes this game so much fun, when you start to understand how the game is being played. But when you don't know that, it sucks. It does. Hey, trust me when I tell you, I have had a lot of struggle in the past with lack consciousness. Or I should say I was really good at lack consciousness. Don't ask me why you would want to do it, but that's what I did for quite a long time until I figured it out. And now that I figured it out, I don't go there. Why? Because I know if I do, it's going to shut me off from the universe being able to help me in any way, shape, or form. This simple little story illustrates brilliantly all that you need to do. And Fillmore's knew that. Charles Fillmore knew that when he talked. And what he said was, gratitude opens the portal of the superconsciousness where the thought is impregnated with an uplifting, transcendent quality. Fillmore knew. He knew exactly what Jesus was doing. It changes. When you're in lack consciousness and you start giving gratitude, what Fillmore is really saying there is you change. You're impregnated with an uplifting, transcendent quality. You change states of consciousness. Powerful. Eckhart Tolle says, acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. Hold on. Are you kidding me? Eckhart Tolle, Jesus, Cicero, and all the others are all saying the same thing because they all know how it works. They all know how it works. And that's how it works. And guess what? Now you know, right? So you get to play with it. It ties back into one of the 5 unity principles. And the unity principle says that we are co-creators with God, creating reality through our thoughts held in mind. Oh, wait a minute. So you mean I am actually doing this dance with God? Yeah. And you mean because of my divinity, because of who and what I am, that I'm a co-creator with God? Yep. And you mean to tell me that the way I create my reality is often because of what I am thinking and how I'm thinking it? Yep. Whoa. I'm that powerful? You are that powerful. But the problem with that is that it comes down to focus, because what people don't understand, what most people don't understand, is that often, without them even knowing it, they're unconsciously focusing on what they don't want. Why? Because what you don't want gets really loud. It's really loud, right? And so that's what's happening, is you're not paying attention. You're paying attention to the thing that you don't want. You're looking at it. You're focusing on it. And as the saying goes, where your attention goes, energy flows, right? And so therefore, that's the stuff that starts to happen. And people don't even, what happens, truthfully, is people don't even realize their own power. And so you start focusing on what you don't want, and the universe goes, oh, I guess they want some more of that. Let's give them some more, because they seem to think about it a lot. Why not give them some more, right? And so people go from day to day, not even realizing this power, not realizing what you're doing, and you have to understand something. You are a manifesting machine. And you say, well, no, that's not true, Mike. No, it is true. You are a manifesting machine. You just don't realize it. Because I'm telling you right now, when you finally wake up and get what I'm talking about, you are going to start to be hyper aware of what you're thinking. And you're not going to let crap thinking enter your mind. You're not going to do it. Why? Because you're going to realize how powerful you are. You're going to realize how powerful your thoughts are. You are going to start going, I don't want any of the garbage. I want the stuff that I want to focus on, right? Actually, the field that we live in, the energy that we live in, I just want you to understand this, that it's neutral. It's neutral. And this stuff works both ways. So we can sit there and be positive and attract positive in our life and do it consciously and change our life and change our reality, or we can remain unconscious, and what's going to keep showing up more than likely is what's showing up right now. Nothing is going to change. But I'm telling you, the energy is neutral. The universe is neutral. The universe is waiting for you to decide, hey, do I want to use this energy and do something about it to change my life or no? And the universe is going to say, okay. It's going to say, okay, right? So, if you want more peace, happiness, joy in your life, focus on more peace, love, happiness, and joy in your life. It goes the other way, folks. If you want more complaining in your life, and you start complaining a lot, how many people know people that do, that's all they do is they complain. That's all they do is complain, right? I want you to understand what's going on. The universe is sitting there going, oh, I get it. They like to complain. Here's what we're going to do. They are so powerful, we're going to give them something to complain about. A lot of it. You're laughing, but it's true. That's what's going to start showing up because you're focusing on complaining. So the universe goes, oh, they're a divine being. I guess they really like this thing. Same thing is true about fear. Same thing is true about hate. Same thing is true about separation. Same thing is true about everything. Everything comes down to that, right? Jim? I have a little video I want to that makes the point.
That we spend so much of our lives searching for the things that we realize in time we had all along. That our journeys bring us full circle, our stories end how they began, and in the end, we fade away holding tightly to that from which we emerged. Not because we fell short, no, but because eventually we realize how simple things really are from the outside looking in. We realize what we have. Speaker Dennis Waitley once said, happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. That's why times like these, when we get to look around and recapture our perspective, means so much. Almost as though it's reassurance that, yeah, life can be hard, frustrating, abstract, but that at the core of everything is contentment, is enough. It's why we need not search for love. We are, in fact, surrounded by it. We need not search for hope when it's ingrained in every breath, or reassurance when it's a phone call away. I once heard an interesting idea that we only see what we focus on. And not only metaphorically, but literally, so much of life exists outside our periphery. If you can walk down the same street every day and see something new each time, imagine the power of readjusting how you see life as the sun comes up in the morning. Imagine pulling more of what matters into focus, becoming living proof that we don't need to wait until things are gone or changed to appreciate what we have and who we are. I think that's why Cicero said gratitude's not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Because when one can look around and see all that they have, scarcity has to give way to abundance. Fear becomes hope, the mundane becomes beautiful. Gratitude is power because it's not acquisition, it's awareness. A reset button. A tap on the shoulder reminding us that life is about the people who make it worth living. The times we spend together, it's a reminder that the minutes aren't ticking towards some life-altering grand finale, but that each second is, in and of itself, a miracle. And of course, I'm a believer that we are here to evolve, to grow, to test the waters, to push our limits. But I'm also a believer in asking why. And it seems to me the answer is not to obtain something new, but to share who we are with the world. Not to get what we don't have, but to make the most of what we do. Not to impress or fit in, but to take that passion that increases our heart rate, that curiosity that pulls us towards new horizons, the incredible friends and family by our side, and simply realize that we are, this very moment, embarked upon the adventure of a lifetime. And for that, I am forever grateful.
That just touches my heart. It really opens me up and makes me think about how blessed I am. I get to get up here every single Sunday, and I get to look at each and every one of you. It's one of the most greatest blessings in my entire life. I get to come here, I get to share intimate conversations with you. I get to work with the people and the board and all the volunteers. I get to do this thing that was a dream of mine since the time I was a kid. I dreamed of this when I was a kid. And I cannot tell you how grateful I am every single Sunday. I don't take one of them for granted. I don't take one of you for granted. The light that you bring, the light that you share, the light that you shine is a gift to all of us. And I just want you to remember that. My hope for Thanksgiving for you is that you remember that you are able to go within and you are able to make the decision about, hey, you know what? I think this might be something I want to do. I think that maybe there's something inside of me that's calling me to go deeper within myself, to connect to this beautiful thing, to this amazing relationship with yourself and with God, which is the greatest blessing that we all have. I just think sometimes we forget it. I know I have. And if I can get up here and share with you a word or two, and that can help you along the path, even if it's just one of you, I really do believe that I've fulfilled my life purpose. And just like I have something inside of me, a song in my heart that wants to be shared, here's what I know. Each and every one of you have your own song to be shared. And it may look a lot different than everybody else's, but what I do know is each and every one of you have a song that's to be shared. And I just want to know if you're ready to do that. And if you are, come talk to me, because I want to hear about it. I think that would be amazing. You are a gift. You are a blessing. You are so incredibly beautiful. Thank you for all that you do, for all that you are, for all that you bring. I am simply blown away, and I'm grateful. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. God bless.
Hey, it's Reverend Mike here. I just wanted to stop for a moment before you get on with your day, and thank you so much for spending time with us this morning. It means the world to us, and I just wanted to let you know if there's anything that we can do to make your experience even better, please do not hesitate to reach out by going to our website. I also wanted to offer you the opportunity for us to get together and sit down so I could get to know you a little bit better and answer any questions that you have. I can either do that by either getting together in person, have a cup of coffee, or we can meet online via Zoom. If you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach me at michael@courage2thrive.com. And lastly, if you find these messages are helping you, we would be tremendously grateful if you'd consider donating to the center. The best and the easiest way to do that is simple. Just go to our website. Again, thank you so much. Hope you have a great day. Hope you're doing well. God bless, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye now.